All right, everyone. Hi, I'm Justin Zimmerman, and no matter where you're watching this, whether it's on the REDX domain, Facebook Live, or on the or on our YouTube channel itself, we've got really something exciting and interesting for you that we've never done here in the way we've done it before. Live prospect by my enthusiasm. They're going to be bringing you both scripts, dialogues, energy, enthusiasm, and insight into lead types that you may not know about or how to work even more effectively and efficiently. And so we've got a very special guest who's going to be doing live prospecting from the REDX office. He's in the other room. I'm in my room here. And so we've got the amazing Kent Brown, a former REDX employee. He spent enough time around our products and services, enough time around our customers, and the halo effect of all of those things wore off on him to the point where not too long ago, he took all that information and experience from what we do, how we do it, and how other people do it, and went off on his own, left REDX. We were sorry to lose him, but now he's a real estate agent prospecting every single day, following Mike Ferry's approach to getting business. And so we've got him here in the office back to show you a little for rent by owners. Don't be confused by the word rent, because it has more to do with listings and selling than it has to do with renting. But I'm going to let Kent get into that in a couple of seconds, because he's going to share with you how he's used this lead type to go and grow his business to where it's at today. And then very shortly after this little bit of interview where he's going to talk about himself and the lead type and the unique aspects of it to set context for what you're about to hear, he's going to jump into actual live prospecting to demonstrate how he does it, why he does it, so you can learn how to do it yourself. So, hey, Ken, thanks so much for taking time out of your normal prospecting day to come back to the office and show us how it's done.
Absolutely. Thanks for the kind words. I'm happy to be here. I still got my prospecting in. I went in with my guys on the sales team and did some prospecting with them, just a little bit different than what I used to do. So great energy. But I appreciate the kind words.
Absolutely, absolutely. So a couple before I hit the start button, we're talking about the importance of surround yourself with positive people and the energy and momentum of not feeling alone in prospecting. And so before we jump into, I would say, the real deal, why people are here, help us understand what it took for you to make that leap from being part-time to full-time. So, and how FRBOs have played a role in that for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So kind of as you'd mentioned, I've been surrounded by this for about 4 years now. I just walked in off the street, never had any experience with real estate, had no idea what REDX was, walked in, asked Tyler for a job. He gave me one, he had pity. And then as I started to get more ingrained in prospecting and doing it for REDX for 8 hours a day, I thought to myself, hey, I could go somewhere else and make more money and, you know, kind of have my own style of running my own business, which is really what I like to do. I like to have my own schedule, like to have control.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing for me was just surrounding myself with positive people. I did that a lot through Mike Ferry and other great coaches around the industry. I just really found that he worked for me. And for rent by owners has played a huge part in my business. It's really nice to be associated with REDX and say, hey, and watch all of these great prospectors, all of these great real estate agents, and in a sense, steal their ideas and implement them into my business and just watch them work.
That is, I think, the biggest point anybody can really pull from this right now is that we're doing this because we want you to steal the ideas, language, scripts, objections, and confidence that comes from watching other people make the leap, make the plunge, take risks. And, you know, Ken showing up right now to put himself on the scene and on the spot live is a risk. But it's a risk with a huge reward.
Yes.
And so if we could just spend I would say 2 more minutes talking about what for rent by owners and maybe dispel any myths or confusion around when you talk to agents about what for rent by owners, what are some of the questions they get back or the interactions you have with them? So then anybody listening to this right now, when you jump in next, can understand why. Why are you calling these people?
So I think the biggest thing is especially when I was on the sales team, one of the bigger things was, I don't want to call rentals. I don't want rentals. I want business. Well, for rent by owners are active in the market one way or another. They want to know how much their home is worth. They want to, maybe they've never thought about selling. And if they've never thought about selling, it probably means that they're enjoying what they're doing and looking to pick up more properties. So they're just a great all-around lead source. And it's just a good relationship builder. You're talking to people that are active in the market and you can pick their brains. It's kind of like networking is the way I look at it more than anything with for rent by owners. Networking with people that are either A, going to bring you business, B, give you business, or C, teach you how to do the business better because they've done it.
Let me paint an image let me explain the image you just painted in my mind of what this is like. And so imagine a room full of people who've raised their hand and said, hey, I'm looking to rent this property out because A, I need a tenant, B, I'm frustrated, and I'm getting to the point where maybe this is the last time I'm putting an ad out there, so it's like essentially room full of like sellers who are asking for help from the market. And instead of them being all in one room, they're on a list with numbers next to them on your computer. And then you're doing the networking with them to find out basically where they're at in the stages of renting or selling and deciding whether or not they want to sell soon or possibly pick up other rental properties. And so the potential to sell in the near future, if it's a frustrated seller, right? You're looking for those people to network with, and or people who have cash that are looking to expand their portfolio of properties, and you're looking to network with those people.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And quite honestly, you pull up a lot of hot buyers, I guess is what we call them. So when you pool the hot buyers as well, and people ask you the question, do you have a buyer for my home?
Yeah.
You can respond, actually, I probably do. I need to come out and see the home. So when you're doing your geo leads, when you're doing your expired, your FSBOs, any of those, you're strengthened.
So you brought up a great point now for us to really transition to finding some hot buyers and demonstrating in action that script. And so instead of now telling us, why don't you show us? Why don't you take it away and give us a great experience of what it's like to prospect for rent by owners?
Okay, I'm going to jump into it.
Great. A couple of clicks. And you'll be using a single line dialer, right?
I am. Typically I use the double line. Today I'll use the single line.
Hey, this is Graham. I'm not available at the moment, but you can leave me a message and I'll get back.
So typically I use a double line just to get through more contacts. I am trying to hit 50 a day. And there we go. So, but today I'll use a single line. That way we can have a chance to discuss in between. Because with double or triple, you're just having conversations one after another.
Hello.
Hi, good morning. I'm looking to speak with Clark.
Yes, speaking.
Hi, Clark. This is Kent Brown with Summit Realty. I'm calling about your property on 2197 East in Cottonwoods. Is it still available?
For rent, yes.
It is for rent. Well, I was curious, Clark. Have you ever had any plans on selling the property versus renting it?
No.
You have not. Okay. Well, out of curiosity, how long have you owned the property?
30 years.
30 years. Oh, wow. So was this a home that you originally bought for yourself and then just decided to rent it out?
Yeah, so we are not interested in selling, so
okay.
I guess,
well,
yeah.
Clark, let me ask you this. And I'm curious, when do you plan on purchasing your next rental property?
I'm not doing anything.
You're not doing anything actively. Okay. Well, do you know of anyone who might be looking to buy or sell at this time that me or my company
I
could
don't
help
know.
out?
I don't have rich relatives.
You do, oh, gotcha. Hey, not a problem. Well, if you ever were to sell, Clark, when would that be?
I don't know.
You don't know? Do you know how much the property is worth in today's market?
I don't know yet. I haven't done research yet.
You haven't done research? Well, I'd love to run some numbers for you. It's hard to decide if you'd be open to selling without knowing the numbers. Would there be a time that we could set up and go over those numbers? Say today at,
No.
I have availability today at 5 or tomorrow at 4?
No.
No, okay. Hey, not an issue at all. Well, Clark, I appreciate you giving me your time this morning. I would love to stay in contact with you if you are ever looking to sell. I would love to apply for that job.
Sure.
Okay. Hey, thanks, Clark.
Bye.
Bye now. Nice enough guy. Not interested.
Hey, you went through the script.
I did.
Boom, 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 boom.
I think sometimes you just have to.
Hello.
Hi, good morning. I'm looking to speak with Eric.
This is Rick.
Hey, Rick, this is Kent Brown with Summit Realty. I'm calling about your property in Murray. Are you still looking to rent that property out?
Yes.
You are. Fantastic. And would you be open to the option of selling the property versus renting it?
Somebody called me about an hour ago about that. Was that you?
It wasn't me, no. No.
No.
So have you had any plans of
No.
renting out the
Why are all
property?
these calls coming in? Like, is there something going on?
Yeah, you posted it on KSL, I'm assuming. KSL and Zillow. And so we pulled it up through that. So have you ever had any plans on selling the property?
Nope.
You haven't. Okay. Hey, not a problem. Hey, out of curiosity, how long have you owned the property?
2 years.
A few years. Okay. And how did you happen to purchase an investment in this area? I see that you have an out-of-state number.
It's just the rent to price ratio.
Oh, rent to price ratio. Okay. Well, if you ever were to sell, Rick, when would that be?
We were thinking about keeping it through retirement, so not for decades.
Oh, a couple. Okay. Well, I do work here in the Utah market, constantly trying to find homes for my buyers, good deals for my buyers. Would you be open to purchasing any more investment properties if the right deal came across?
Of course, we have a broker that we work with.
You do? Okay. And are they just actively looking for properties that hit the MLS, or are they on the phones to bring you that business?
To be frank, I don't know.
You don't know? Well, as I said, I do something that not a lot of other people do here in the Valley, which is make calls and try to find good deals for you before you have to go into a bidding war. So if something did come across my desk, would you be willing to work with me if it made sense for both you and me?
Potentially. I
Potentially?
mean, we're always open to good deals. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, Rick, I'd love to send you a little bit of information about what I do. I know that you're not in the state, or else I'd love to meet with you. What would be a good email to send you information on my team? Say that one more time. Sorry, cut out. At Hotmail. Fantastic. Okay, I will send that information right out to you. Just out of curiosity, what matches your criteria of what you're looking for in your next rental property?
One with, maybe a 15-year mortgage, something like that.
Cash flow positive with a 15-year.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, would you be wanting to pay cash for that, or well, obviously you take out a 15-year mortgage, you'd put the 20%
No, that's
down.
why there would be a mortgage, right?
Yeah.
20%.
Okay. Fantastic. Well, I'll definitely be on the lookout for you, making these calls, and as soon as we find good deals, we'll be in touch. I do appreciate you taking the time to chat with me, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Okay, thanks so much.
Hey, thanks,
Bye.
Rick. Bye now.
What'd you like about that call?
Easy peasy. It's just asking the questions. Okay, you don't want to sell, then obviously you want to buy something else. Typically.
Is the dialer going, or and you're waiting for your next call, or do you have to resume the session?
So it is. I'm making notes right now. So I'll make my notes, that way I can go back to it, and then I'm going to set a call back and follow up with him in a week.
Okay.
As well. And again, it's with the for rent by owners, it's more about building that rapport and building those long-term relationships. But I'll have, so from here, what I'll do is I'll send it to my wife, who's also my business partner.
Mm-hmm.
She'll typically do the follow-up, make sure that we have all of his criteria straight for us. And then when we're doing our circle prospecting or calling our expireds and we say, hey, this is a really good deal, we'll send that out to all of the people I gather here. And typically 1 or 2 of them will jump on it.
Great. Question that just came in from Peter and David, is they want to know what kind of information you'll send Rick in that email. So what kind of some of the specifics?
So I'll just send him our pre-listing package most of the time.
Okay.
And just assume that has both what we do to find. I mean, it really just gives an explanation of what we do to sell homes, which also gives them an explanation of what we do to buy homes. And yeah, he might have he said he's working with a broker here, but as soon as I ask the question, hey, what is he doing? Is he just pulling it from the MLS, or is he actively prospecting for you to find those deals?
Yeah, I felt the difference in that he shifted right there. As soon as you said that, it made him think, oh, is she really, or he really working for me? And then here you are calling them working and demonstrating the principle of what a active prospecting agent who earns their living and their clients, business.
Yeah. See, if you noticed, he said, I got a call an hour ago. So what's going on here? And what I found a lot with prospecting is people won't go through the second, third, fourth question. And as soon as I got through the second, third, fourth question, he opened up, he gave me his email, he told me what he's looking for. That's it. It's just, you got to go through the script. And my coach, Judy Forden from Mike Ferry, she pounds that in my head. Stick with the script, stick with the script. So hopefully this is making her proud.
You know what I like in observing, and I hope other people watching this are too, is that the way you're going through the script, you're not having any sort of emotional attachment to what they're saying. You're just literally qualifying them. You're asking the question, hey, and then based on their response, you then ask another related question or move on to the next level question. And so I think, everybody has their own unique prospecting style. And that's one of the things that we're going to continue to get into on these live prospecting sessions is the way Kent does things, you can learn from. The way so-and-so does something, you can learn from. And you can compile and create your own. But I think one of the biggest challenges across the board for so many real estate agents, they're afraid of the phone because they're afraid of what someone's going to say. And what you're demonstrating right now for everybody is that just ask the question. Don't have any sort of attachment to the outcome, because you got to win. You got someone's and trust. I said, especially FRBOs, they're about the longer term play.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's exactly right. It's about the long term play, creating those relationships, people that are actively looking in the market. And people hire real estate agents. This is the way I look at it. When I sell my house, the chances of me selling my own house are slim because I don't want the emotional attachment to it. So people hire agents to take out the emotion. So the quicker you learn to take out the emotion, which you do on the phones, the better agent you'll be.
Wonderful. So we're getting the same question come in a couple of times right now. And so I think the best way to address this question is for you to move on to your next call and then really enunciate it for everyone to hear, because really the question is, what is the script that you use? And so I'm sure that we can
This is Jen.
Hi, Jen. This is Kent Brown with Summit Realty. How are you this morning?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Hey, I'm calling about your property in Taylorsville. Is it still available for rent?
It is.
It is. Fantastic. And out of curiosity, I was wondering, when do you plan on selling the property?
I bought that as a retirement plan, so I'm probably a ways off from selling it unless an investor comes in who wants to develop that whole area and make, a stupid offer. Gotcha. It'd have to be a lot of money for me to sell it. I'm not interested in selling it just as a home. It cash flows, so I plan on sitting on it for a long time.
Hey, there's not an issue with that. How long have you owned the property? You said you bought it as an
just a couple of years.
Oh, just a couple of years. That's fantastic. And it's already cash flow positive for you. Curious, how did you happen to purchase an investment in this area?
I bought the property behind that one. That's on the canal road. It butts up to it. Okay. I purchased that one because it had two bedroom, 1 bath apartments in it, and it also had a shop, which allowed me to store stuff for my business, but not have to pay for a shop space because the apartments paid for it. And then the family decided to sell. The family that I bought that property from decided to sell the property that backs up to it, and so I went ahead and bought the property that backed up to it as well.
Oh, that's genius. So that's why you're kind of thinking if someone comes in, a developer comes in and wants to purchase it just as whole, you would consider it then.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Hey, I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, I know that you're saving up for retirement. I'm sure that you're going to want to purchase a few more properties. What are you looking for in your next investment property?
I haven't, I don't have the money to put down on another one right now. Okay. I just look for, basically, it has to be a low enough cost that I can cash flow it really fast, because I can't afford to put money into them. So I don't have a problem with a fixer-upper. My husband's a contractor, so we, buy them when they're a little rough. We're not afraid of, ones that need work. But right now, we're not really looking to buy one because we don't have the 20 or 25% that we've got to put down on one right now.
Hey, I can appreciate that. Let me ask you, will it be a couple of years then, probably, before you'll purchase your next investment property?
Yeah, it'll probably be a bit before we do another one.
Okay. Well, the market is shifting. I am pretty aggressive with, especially I go after what's called pre-foreclosures or NODs.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be happy to stay in touch with you. So when you are ready to purchase that next investment property, we can get together and you can have an aggressive agent that will go after those deals for you before they hit the MLS. Fair enough?
Okay. Yeah, that's something my husband would definitely be interested in.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
Well, let me do this. What's a good email address for you? Perfect. So I'll keep in touch with you quarterly, just send you out different market updates. I won't bug you too much. And then I'll also give you a call once a quarter. That way I can kind of keep tabs on when you're ready and just be aggressive in finding that next property for you. Well, Jennifer, you've been a pleasure to speak with. I look forward to building a relationship with you and helping you find your next property. Okay. Hey, you as well. Bye now.
She seemed nice.
Very, very nice. Sorry, I was dialing while it was going. The script that I'm using is the Mike Ferry Absentee Owner script. It's gold for FRMPI owners. It's literally 3 questions long. How long have you owned the property? Or sorry, 4 questions. When do you plan on selling that property? How long have you owned that property? I'm curious, how did you happen to purchase an investment in this area? If you were ever to sell, when would that be? And a lot of times they'll cover that, so you really don't even ever ask that last question. But if they say, here it says only go forward if they say 3 months or less. This lady, I have her email. I'll throw her on a drip campaign. And when she's ready, she'll give me a call because she knows that I'll work for her and be aggressive in finding what she needs.
I got to just jump in there and point out the simplicity of this is, I think, again, going back to phone fear being one of the number of reasons why agents try prospecting or buy prospecting equipment and leads, get all excited, and then they stop. Is one of them is phone fear, and that how the simplicity that you've just described, if you just ask these 3 or 4 questions without emotion to this particular lead type, and I'm sure you've also got scripts that apply to other lead types that are just as simple. Because if it was complex, then you'd spend all your time trying to figure that out versus making appointments.
Well, exactly. That's exactly right. You ask those 3 to 4 questions. As you can see, I asked the 3 questions. She's not looking to sell. No matter what I say or do is going to convince her that she needs to sell because she wants a really high offer. So now my backup is, well, when are you buying? We don't have the 20% yet, but we want to buy. They want to buy more properties. So with the market shifting the way it is, and it's going to start turning into a buyer's market, I would assume.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that. That's just kind of what we're seeing.
Yeah.
Buyers are going to be some of your best friends.
Absolutely.
Especially these types of buyers that save and want to mass buy. That's so. Just to throw this in there, Justin.
Yeah.
I talk to people all the time that would spend $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month on Zillow for what I'm calling right now for $70 a month or $80 a month.
It's cheap.
With 10 times the amount of results. If you want buyers and you want more interested buyers, there you go.
Yeah, I was thinking to myself that there are people who are asking, where are you getting your leads from? And those are some of the questions. REDX, you're getting your leads from REDX. And I was just thinking to myself, like, no, there is no like special like switch we've thrown to give you like extra, special like data quality right now. If whether it's you or anybody else who's using FRBO leads from REDX, this is the experience that you would expect too, which is that was a little thing in my mind. I'm like, how do we bring that in address? Because you don't get special treatment from us. You don't. I mean, maybe you're in our office and we're filming you, we're putting you out here, but that's not special treatment in the sense of it'd be no different than somebody else getting FRBOs and sitting down with the Storm Dialer and getting it. That's why we're demonstrating this as both. When you combine the scripts, you combine the consistency that you show up with every day, combined with your knowledge of knowing if I do my 50 contacts and I hit my numbers, and then how do you hit your numbers? Script, leads and a dialer, So
yeah, it's true. I mean, honestly, it's all a numbers game. You could be the worst at what you're doing, and there have been people that I've worked with or that I've gone to a prospecting clinic or whatever it may be with REDX, and I listen to them prospect, and I think to myself, wow, I can do that better, but they're making more appointments than me. They're making more appointments than me because it sounds natural. They do it every day. They have momentum. They take the emotion out of it. And a lot of times I have to remind myself, take the emotion out of it. Stop. Yeah. You get what I'm saying. At the end of the day, it comes down to consistency.
You sound good. I'll tell you, you sound good. You're just going through it,
Yeah.
I did have before jumping into the next call.
Yes.
I was thinking about administratively, right? So you're kind of doing two roles right now. that way. The operator, the prospector, right? The income producing activity guy. But then there's also going to be kind of the admin and follow up. And so at some point in time, when you get off your income producing activity, which is this right now, you're going to have to go back and do that follow up. And so my question is, what are you typing in as far as notes? Like, what if someone was listening to this, and if you're obviously you're making notes, though, in the future you can say the right things and pick up on that conversation. You know, tell me, what would you put in after a conversation like you just had to remind yourself to take whatever next step in action?
So I think the best organization skill for me is paper. So typically what I'll do when I set an appointment, I'll put it into a folder within REDX. And then at the end of the day, I just go through and print them. And then you have 12 folder setups in your office, January, February, March, April, June, depending on how hot they are. And then you just put those papers in there, and then you go through and just do your follow-up every quarter with them.
Okay,
So it's
great.
just uncomplicating it.
Great. All right, well, let's jump into the next set of calls.
Yes. Hopefully we get someone mean soon.
Hello?
Hi, I'm looking for Lisa.
This is Lisa.
Hi, Lisa. My name is Kent Brown with Summit Realty. I'm calling about your property in South Salt Lake.
You know what? I don't know why you guys always call me. I'm a real estate agent, and this is a moneymaker. No way am I interested in selling. So
Okay.
I'm sure that's why you're calling, right?
Yeah. I was curious to see if you were selling.
No way. This is a moneymaker. No way.
Hey, no, I don't blame you.
Checking.
Let me ask you this, Lisa.
Yeah.
Do you have any clients right now that are interested in purchasing investment properties in Provo? I have a couple for sale. Or are you yourself looking?
No. I sell. I own a bunch of property out in the Uinta Basin, recreation property, and my brother's a land developer. So that's usually what I sell. I don't sell homes. I just do properties. So if you know anybody who's interested, we've got great properties in the Uinta Basin, 5 and 10 acre lots.
Yeah. Do you mind if I send you?
I don't have anybody.
Can I text you over my information? You can send that over to me.
About my properties?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll send you over my email.
Sure. You have clients that might be interested.
Well, I do this every day, so I definitely find them. So if it's the right option for them, I'd love to be in contact with you. So is this a good phone number to text?
Yes.
Fantastic. I'll text you over my information. Hopefully we get to work together one day. But it's been a pleasure speaking with you.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, you have a nice day.
You as well,
Thank
Lisa.
you.
Bye now. Not going to get very far with her. Okay.
Who's up next?
Christy.
Hello.
Hi, I'm looking for Christy.
This is she.
Hi, Christy. Kent Brown with Summit Realty. Are you the owner of the property over in Highland that you're trying to rent out?
Yeah.
You are.
Well, I'm showing the rental. My parents actually own it.
Oh, your parents own it. Okay. Wonderful. Just
Yeah.
out of curiosity, would they ever be willing to sell the property as opposed to renting it?
I don't know if they're interested right now, but maybe down the road.
Maybe down the road. Do you possibly have a timeline as to when that may be?
No, I'd have to talk to him. We haven't even talked about it, so I don't know.
Gotcha. And let me ask you, and I know I'm probably barking up the wrong tree. Is there a price that they would enter the market and be a seller? That they've discussed with you?
I don't even know.
Don't even know.
I don't know. Do you have somebody that's interested in it or something?
Yeah, we run into buyers all the time that are pretty interested in the property. So one of the reasons why I'm calling is a lot of people are choosing to take advantage of the peak of the market and list their homes and sell and protect their equity. So I'm just curious to see if people are interested in that. Would there be a good time that I could follow up with you once you've had a chance to speak with them?
Yeah, I could talk to them today. I'll be talking to them here in just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
You could give me a call back later this afternoon.
Okay. What time works for you?
And I can let you know if they have any interest or not. But probably like after 4 o'clock would work.
Okay. Hey, Christy, I will give you a call after 4 o'clock and we'll touch base then. But I do appreciate you taking my call.
Okay. You're welcome.
Hey,
thanks,
thanks, Christy. Bye now.
Okay, bye.
Okay, so now I'll go in and set my callbacks. I do like this aspect of it because REDX does send me an email alert, so it'll pop up on my phone. I'll just have it do it 10 minutes before 4 o'clock. Dustin, what other questions are we getting while I'm typing in notes?
Sure. People want to know, is your dialer running the whole time?
When it's on triple line or double line, it does. Unless, well, let me rephrase that. If I have a conversation, it pauses for me. I type in my notes or set my callbacks, and then I hit resume again, and it's calling the next 2 or 3 people. As you can see for rent by owners, I've called 7 people now and have made 4 contacts. So triple line isn't necessarily the best option. Single line is probably the best option, or double.
That's great to know because we can't see the numbers that the dialer is skipping. All we're hearing is the conversation. So that's a good stat. What'd you say?
Yeah.
You said 4 out of 7 calls so far?
4 out of 7. Yep.
When do you find a double or triple line dialer to be advantageous? Like what lead types or conditions?
So for rent by owners, typically most of them will pick up. So again, single line is probably your best option for that. All of the other ones, so for sell by owners, I know everybody says single line. When they've been beat up, a lot of them don't answer either, which is kind of funny. They want to sell their house but don't answer the phone. So geo leads, pre-foreclosures, expireds are all triple line. I pull all my hair out that's why I'm bald, because I was using single line for a little bit. But I don't know. I can't say enough good things about triple line. It just allows me to get to my 50 contacts. And because of those 50 contacts that generate, or the contacts and the people that I generate is worth its weight in gold for spending the extra amount of money to do the triple line.
Great. All right, ready for the next call when you are.
Let's do it. Let's rock and roll.
Hello, this is Matt.
Hey, Matt, Kent Brown with Summit Realty. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing really well. Thanks for asking. I was calling about your property over in Harriman. Are you still looking to rent that property out?
I am.
You are. And I was wondering, have you ever considered selling the property versus renting it?
No.
No, you're keeping it as an investment property. How long have you owned the property?
I've owned it for a few years. It's a good cash flow and a good tax deduction. So
Yeah.
It's part of my investment portfolio, so I'm not planning on selling it.
Hey, I love it. I love it. Well, let me switch over to this. I won't push you to do something you don't want. I'm on the phones quite a bit every day looking for business that doesn't hit the MLS yet so you can get a good deal on a property. Would you be interested in any more properties in the area?
So I've got my real estate license, and my brother-in-law is my broker. So I'm
gotcha.
good. I appreciate it, though.
Hey, no, not a problem. Well,
Okay. Yep.
One more question. I know you have your license. If we list any good investment properties, is that something that I could call you and we could work together on? Would you have any interest in that?
Sorry, what's that? Sorry, you broke up. What was your question?
If we list any good investment properties that would cash flow, would you be interested in us giving you a call and purchasing those properties?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
That'd be fine. However, my model is that typically I start with new construction.
Okay.
So each one that I own, I've built from scratch. That way, I get the equity right out of the gate once the yard's put in and everything. So most of mine are new, and then I'll 1030 exchange the. Why am I drawing a blank on? It's not a 1030.
1031. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Thanks. 1030. Why is that not ringing right? So I'll do a 1031 exchange and just renew each time I need to kind of update. So I'm really, and I try to keep commissions out of it so that I, always, that's what it is. Trying to make money, right? That's all we're trying to do.
Yeah. No, I can appreciate that. And the thing is, truthfully, we do, as I said, we run across rental properties that we'll list all the time, and we love to find people that are motivated to buy. So where you can represent yourself.
Well, if you run across one maybe that's distressed or they're in a bind, you might give me a call.
Okay.
But other than that, I'd have to go through the whole analysis of it to see if it'd be worth my while. But typically, I try to avoid the hassle and just build them myself and rent them out.
Hey, that's awesome. I wish I could build a home myself. But that's why I'm on the phones, right?
I'm 50. I'm 50 now, so it's taken a while. It's not like this happened overnight. So
yeah, no, I need to start. It sounds like. Well, hey, I appreciate the time you've given me. Hopefully, one day we get to work together, and it was a pleasure speaking with you.
Okay, good luck.
Hey, thanks, Matt. You have a good one. Okay.
Anything stand out for you on that one?
Not necessarily. We do have a couple of properties next to BYU that would be, so BYU, for those that aren't from Utah, is a college here in Utah, and if you put up a property around that area, it'll rent out in a day. It's just a highly rentable area. I like talking to people like this, so we try to avoid putting it on the MLS and just get the deal done. Get the deal done, not have to take pictures, etc.
Gotcha.
And try to sell. And when someone hires you, that's what they're hiring you to do, right? Sell the property. Even if they're an agent, you ask them. You want them on your list, so that you can call them when you do list home. It could be rented easily.
Well, we got about 15 minutes of time right now, so why don't we power through some next couple of calls, and then we've got a little bit of time at the end for some questions that have come in.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do 4 or 5 minutes, you're thinking, of calls?
15 minutes to kind of power some other calls, and then we'll do a little.
Hey, Valerie, I'm looking to speak with Karen.
Karen?
Yeah.
I think you have the wrong number.
Oh, I do apologize. I'm a local real estate agent in the area, and I have to ask, as part of my job, who do you know that I might be able to help out buy or sell a home in the area?
I don't know anyone.
You don't know
Sorry.
anyone? No, not a problem. Valerie, you've been so kind to me. I appreciate you taking the time to chat.
Okay.
You
have a good day.
Bye now. I made a boo-boo.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. I didn't say, so tell me, when do you plan on moving?
Ah.
I just asked who she knew. So
I love the philosophy. If someone picks up and people need places
Sorry,
to live, you can always
you're
ask.
cutting out. You cut out there for a second.
Oh, I just love the philosophy of there are no actual wrong numbers. It's
No, there really isn't. Now, when I get a wrong number and I'm calling brand new expireds in the morning, I don't ask that. Because if they're a wrong number, I want to move on to the next lead and just keep momentum.
all the
But with
bacon's
rent
hot.
by owners, what's that?
All the bacon's hot.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We're doing pretty good. 9 contacts, 6 contacts, 9 leads.
Please leave your message for 80.
So Justin, are you thinking last 10 minutes we'll do some Q&A?
Yeah, I would say you spend the next 10 minutes going through, getting some more calls in, some more conversations, so everyone in the audience can feel like they got what they really came here for. And at the end, anybody who has remaining questions, Haley and Andrew and Kevin, part of the marketing team, they're all looking at questions that are coming in and feeding them to me. And so I've got a stockpile of them here to ask at the end.
This is Jordan.
Hey, Jordan, Kemp Brown with Summit Realty. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Thanks for asking. I was giving you a call about your property over in American Fork to see if you had any plans on possibly selling as opposed to renting.
Maybe.
Maybe? Okay. Well,
Yeah, but dude, I'll just stop right there, man. My sister is a realtor, and if I had anyone else listed, she'd kill me. So
I can appreciate that. Well, just so I can keep a lookout for it, when do you think you would ever, if you were to sell it, when do you think that would be?
dude, so right now I'm gonna finish the basement on it.
Okay.
I currently have renters in it until the end of the month. And then I'm thinking it's probably 2 weeks and the basement will be done. And I would dare say come June, more than likely it'll be listed.
Come June, you'll list it? Gotcha. Well,
yeah.
what's your sister's name?
I'm still kind of just mulling around the idea of if I want to keep it as a rental or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because, I mean, it rented really fast last time we listed it. I had great tenants.
Well, you just listed it for rent 2 days ago, right? Have you gotten any traction with that?
Yeah, I've actually got 2 people that are going to come look at it this week. So.
Oh, that's incredible. That's incredible. Well,
yeah.
I know your sister would kill you if you listed with someone else. Would she kill you if you interviewed someone else? Just to make sure you do your due diligence? If you did decide to sell?
Yeah. I mean, dude, give me a call back in June and we can talk. But as of right now, I think. Long story short, I got a bunch of things going on in my life right now that will be the determining factor on whether I sell it or not.
Oh, gotcha. Hey, I appreciate that. In June, you have my word. I'll give you a call back, see if we can't touch base then.
All right, man.
And hopefully,
cool.
Hopefully you get it rented and get that basement finished.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where I'm doing all the work myself.
You're gonna finish the basement on your own. Are you a contractor by trade?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you are. That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Well,
I appreciate. Yeah, give me a call back in June, man. We'll chat.
Jordan, you're awesome. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you.
Appreciate it.
Bye now. Okay, call this guy back in June. Nope, call him back in May. May 1st.
Hey, that's on our blog. Is whatever time they tell you, cut it in half.
Yep, it's true. See, this is why you call him, Justin. You just had that guy not had his sister as a real estate agent. And I wanted to plant the seed in his head of, I mean, would your sister really be that offended if you did your due diligence and interviewed?
That's NLP. The place, it's like instruction.
Yeah, exactly. Just kind of plant it in their head. He's looking to do something. I'm too ADD to make notes, I'm telling you. Hi.
Hey, sorry, Mr. Call. Be a message.
Okay, let's have one more good conversation. Let's get someone.
Yeah.
Stop getting leads. Let's get an appointment.
Hello,
Hi, I'm looking for Norman.
that's me.
Norman, Kent Brown with Summit Realty. How are you?
Okay, fine.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. Sounds like you're having a good morning. I appreciate your positivity. Yeah, I was calling about your property over in Spanish Fork that you're renting out. Just curious to see if you had any plans on. Say that again.
Oh, it's already rented. Sorry.
Oh, you've already rented it. Well, that's it.
Yeah.
That's very exciting. Let me ask you, have you ever considered selling versus renting the property?
No, you're probably like the fifth person to ask a realtor. No, sorry.
No, you wouldn't. Okay. How long have you owned the property, Norman?
Oh, like 15 years.
15 years. That's incredible. How did you happen? I see that you're out of state in Arizona. How did you happen to purchase an investment in this area?
Oh, that's my wife's doing. she came up with this area, so that's how we invested here.
So you live here now. Am I understanding that correctly?
No. We don't live in Utah, but
Okay.
my wife came up with it.
Hey, you gotta love wives. They keep you on the straight and narrow. Well, let me ask you this, Norman. I know that you're renting it right now. You're not really thinking of selling it. If you ever were to sell, when would that be?
Never.
Never? Hey, that's a pretty good answer. Well, are you looking, one last question, then I'll let you go, I promise. Would you be interested in purchasing any more investment properties in this area?
You asked the exact same questions as every other realtor. No, sorry, we're not buying at the moment.
Okay. No, that's all right. I'm talking to the wrong person. I need to talk to your wife.
Yeah, I'm the one that has to take care of all these stupid properties.
You sound like my father-in-law. My mother-in-law convinces him to buy rental properties, and then he has to take care of it, which is why he's not doing it anymore. Well, Norman, you've been really kind. Do you happen to know anybody else in Utah that I might be able to help out?
No.
No?
No, not really.
Hey, thought
Don't
I'd
know
ask.
anybody.
Well, thanks for letting me do my job. You've been great to speak with. I
Alrighty.
appreciate your energy.
No problem. Thank
You have a
for the
great
call.
one. Bye now.
All right. Bye-bye.
Only go forward if they say 3 months or less.
Hmm.
Is never 3 months or less? Guess not.
I love how you said, thanks for letting me do my job. It's almost like, you know, you feel like you're imposing on them with some sort of obligation. I'm sure going through the questions and scripts, kind of, you know, agents who do that can feel that like internal, like, I'm being mechanical and, you know, process. But then I feel like that like brings that humanity back into it for both you and them. It's kind of like, thanks for letting me do my job. That's
Yeah, and I think we look at it so much as people in our market. We don't want them to get what we have. You have to come in it with the mindset of abundance. And, you know, me being nice to that guy, I'm the 5th caller for him. But by me saying, hey, thanks for letting me do my job, who knows, maybe the next realtor that calls him, he'll be a little more cooperative and say, yeah, I guess we have thought about selling it. So
call him back. Maybe you're the next.
Yeah, call him back. There you go. Call him back. I do go through and call him back again. You just have to.
Yeah.
It's incredible how many people will call you back and say, hey, you've been following up with me a lot. I appreciate that. Because nobody's interested in talking to a stranger. Give them a few weeks and they're interested in, then they start getting more motivated to sell, and then they'll be more cooperative to speak with you. So
why don't we take that positive energy? We're kind of running low on time here, and switching to some of the questions that have come through.
Okay.
Yeah. So a common question has come through, and I'm sure it's market to market, season to season, but in your experience, from your perspective, what are the most successful days to call and get business, to get listing appointments, to get listings? Answer that however that makes sense best for you.
I don't think there's a bad day to call by any means. I always take so I don't know who came up with this. I got it from Milton James. He's in Florida. He runs a prospecting group, that a Google Hangout, which I do every morning, and they do Money Mondays. And so Money Mondays have been my most fruitful day, because I go in with that mindset of, today I prospect for 6 hours. I make 75 contacts. It's just what I'm doing today. And because I go in with that mindset, I just push through it. Today I knew that I was calling for rent by owners, and that's what I was going to be doing for an hour. So I came into that mindset of, I need to be ready. I need to be prepared.
Yeah, you know, we hear that over and over again on our end here on the content team and research team, is that, and I'm sure people listening to this hear and read it too. It's the mindset, not the marketplace. It's, you know, it's not the day of the week, number of dials.
It truly, truly is. I think the best day to call is the day that you have your mindset right. You have your mindset right, you're going to control it and set appointments. It's just unavoidable. But there are days that I just go through the motions. I make 50 contacts and have 0 leads, 0 good conversations, because I didn't prepare the night before. I didn't go to the gym in the morning. Whatever it may be, I just got up and prospected because I was like, oh, this is my job.
Right. Yeah, that's a big difference.
Yep.
Another question that keeps coming through here is kind of piggybacking on what you just said about showing up every single day and whether your mindset is right or not. I guess this is kind of up to you to decide, is getting that 50 contacts, right? Like how long does it take you to reach that? And then does it make a difference whether your mindset's right or not? Does it take longer when your mindset's right because you're more invested in the calls, and you get better results? Because, you know, I mean, there's a lot to play with here. Is it's the 50 contacts. People want to know how long does it take to reach that.
Sorry, you cut out at the very end there. How long it takes to reach that, and then you cut out. Oh, so the 50 contacts, yeah, the more my mindset is, that's why Money Mondays are so fruitful for me. Maybe I won't make 75 contacts, but I'll have 50 really good conversations or 10 really good conversations, because I stay on the script. know what I'm doing. Now, making 50 contacts with a triple line dialer, you can do in 3 or 4 hours easily.
Yeah, help everybody understand the difference between quality and quantity. I mean, what does that 50 really represent to you?
So I've kind of had this internal struggle with myself, because when I say I want to make 50 contacts a day, then my call quality goes down, because I'm more worried about the contacts than I am the appointments. So my coach and I have switched this to say you have to make a minimum of 30 contacts a day, or minimum of 30 contacts a day if you have an appointment. If you don't have an appointment and you don't have anything to do, then you have to make 50 contacts. And I don't like door knocking at all. I did it for 2 years, as you can imagine, and then I did it for a couple of summers. Yep. So I need to do it. I do fine with it, but it's not something I enjoy. It's more of a punishment for me. So that's why I get my appointments on the phone, so I don't have to go make my appointments on the doors.
Good answer.
So you just have to look at it as, if I don't do this, what's my punishment?
People respond to fear and pain far greater than they do gain and pleasure.
Yep.
Another question that's come in from Alicio is, do you book daily when prospecting? Because a lot of agents talk about how they can go days without actually setting any appointments. What's your experience with that?
Say that one more time.
Yeah, do you book appointments daily? Because a lot of agents mention how they can go days without setting an appointment.
Yeah, I don't book appointments daily by any means. It's just, so I average about 65 contacts per appointment.
Okay, that's a good ratio.
Yep. So that you just have to look at it as, I might go a day, I might go 2 days. Some days you shake the tree, some days you pick up the fruit. So you always got to be shaking that tree.
All right. Related to for rent by owners, is there kind of any kind of last thoughts, ideas, takeaways people should about things they should do or shouldn't do, or I think better yet, like for rent by owners, are they for every agent, or are they just for certain types of agents trying to do certain types of things?
In my opinion, for rent by owners or for every agent, then that's truthfully how I feel, because you have good conversations with people that are interested in getting into the market, whether as a buyer or a seller. And honestly, if you're not helping someone buy and you're not helping someone sell, what are you doing? So since it covers that whole, you can either pick up buyers or sellers from them, then the answer is it's for everybody. And you don't really, you saw out of those 6-7 conversations I had, how many really mean people did I get?
Hardly any.
I didn't get any. I got people that might have been annoyed. Say that again.
Oh, I would say that really kind of the last thing here, and we got one more question coming through. I think this will be the last one that we take. It's from Richard. Okay. Is there a best time to call? What times are you calling? Best
times to call. So I kind of learned this at REDX. Best times to call are in the morning for me. If you want, let me go back to that. Do you want them to make a decision or not? Do you care about the contacts or about the appointments?
Gotcha.
Best time to call for appointments is in the morning, because people typically in the morning, they haven't exasperated their decision-making energy, because that's a real thing, where people in the afternoon have to think about it, have to talk to their wives. I get higher contact ratio in the evening, but I get way more appointments in the morning.
That's wild.
Saturdays are the best time to call. Saturday mornings.
Saturday mornings. That's it. As people are eating their Cheerios and watching their cartoons.
Exactly.
Nice. Well, Kent, hey, thanks so much for doing an additional session here at REDX
Yes.
for everybody. I know you did your prospecting before coming and demonstrating those things. We look forward to having you back. I'm sure we'll get some questions in after this rolls. We'll find a way of getting those answered. We do have on the REDX blog, for those of you who are watching, a beginner's guide to FRBOs. So if you want to know a little bit more, read a little bit more, study a little bit more about FRBOs and how to approach them, watch this video again. You can hear Kent's simple 4-question script, in addition to getting some more information behind the process. So thanks everybody for taking time out of the day. Kent, hats off to you.
Thanks, everybody.
Hope everyone has a great rest of their day prospecting and setting appointments.